Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. You're watching the Mundane Matt channel. And you know who I have been loving the hell out of lately? Stephen Colbert. Not gonna lie. I've always enjoyed Colbert's work going back as far as the Dana Carvey show. The mid to late 90s one season sketch comedy show on ABC featuring Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell. Didn't know they were both together in it until later on when I caught reruns, and I'm like, oh my god, those guys are great. But Stephen Colbert has become some kind of special kind of awesome. Just recently, he has gone after Donald Trump in a way that is not only hysterical, but downright brutal. And of course, I'm referring to the cock holster comment, one that took me utterly by surprise, made me crack the hell out of laughing, and I'm a little bit shocked when I come across this particular article where the FCC is going to investigate Colbert following the lewd anti-Trump rant. Yeah, saying that Donald Trump's mouth is only really good for being Putin's cock holster is pretty lewd, but it's also pretty fucking funny. I think we can agree at that. Saying here that the Federal Communications Commission said it's investigating late-night television host Stephen Colbert over his potty-mouthed rant against Donald Trump on Monday. This follows the agency receiving a number of complaints about Colbert's 12-minute monologue on CBS's The Late Show. The monologue has been widely denounced as disrespectful, homophobic, and not funny. This is all said by people who are homophobic in their own right, disrespectful about anything that isn't Republican, and are never actually humorous because they weren't born with funny bones at all. Seriously, come on. The people that are upset about this, they're people like Baked Alaska on Twitter that sat there and say things like, oh, that Netflix's show Dear White People is not a satirical look at stereotypes and racism on college campuses, but it is in fact Netflix supporting white genocide. It's people like Jack Posobiec who sits there and goes, oh, well, Star Wars has writers who don't like Donald Trump, so clearly they added in anti-Trump rhetoric in the movie, and so blah 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 blah, dumb Star Wars, even though there's no evidence to support my claims whatsoever. So clearly I'm not, people who are upset about this are just special snowflakes in their own right. And you can disagree with me, but I'm not wrong. All right. You want to talk about, people, look, I just got to say this. People have been yelling at me about this for the last couple of days, trying to say things like, oh, well, it's only the left that tries to censor speech. Really? Because everyone calling into the FCC to complain about Stephen Colbert ain't on the left side of things. They politically run right. They politically run red. Okay, so they're trying to censor somebody's speech because they don't like a joke. All right, and if you can't find the irony and the humor in that situation, then I don't know what to tell you. It says here that the FCC's new commissioner, Trump appointee Ajit Pai, promised to take appropriate action following a thorough investigation. Not really too sure how thorough of an investigation it's really going to be. His joke is pretty well stated, and then in his follow-up, he didn't care. Colbert's stream of insults against Trump culminated in a lewd reference to the president performing oral sex on Vladimir Putin, saying here, you talk like a sign language gorilla that got hit in the head. In fact, the only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's cock holster. Yep. And of course, yeah, they bleeped out the word cock, because they would do that, because they don't want to get busted by the FCC, which apparently now is investigating them. So there's that. The oral sex joke has been criticized as being homophobic. The liberal comedian's remark also prompted some Trump supporters to create the hashtag #FireColbert Twitter trend. Clearly, people out there that are pushing for Fire Colbert never learned about Cancel Colbert, which is a much, much more catchier phrase. And Ajit Pai said, we're going to take the facts that we find and we're going to apply the law as it's been set out by the Supreme Court and other courts, and we'll take appropriate action. Yeah, you're going to try. You're going to fail, but you're going to try. Traditionally, the agency has to decide, if it does find a violation, what the appropriate remedy should be. A fine of sort is typically what we do. Yeah, they do fine people. Sometimes, as far as I know, no one really ever pays. The FCC is just kind of there in this respect, right? It's there for guidelines. You think to yourself, oh, but they police the television, the airwaves. They police all of these things. Well, when it comes to cable television, technically the FCC has absolutely no say over any of that. The stuff you watch on Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead, is only controlled by the network itself. Nothing that they do, the removal of swear words or the cut down on violence or gore, that's not done by the FCC. None of that's controlled by the FCC. That's all done. It's all self-censorship in order to appeal to advertisers. Ajit Pai is not going to be able to go after Stephen Colbert for his freedom of speech. He made a joke where he made a joke where he says here, okay, well, here's maybe where they could get him, just to be, I will take the devil's advocate side. He says, in fact, which is not in my opinion. Seth Meyers has been very good to kind of walk that opinion line. This is saying in fact. So, they might be able to argue defamation, all right, or that he violated some code, some rule, some law or something, and a fine might happen. But we're going to have to wait to see. I don't think this dude right here is going to be the guy to take down Colbert. But it does go on to say, in an interview with Fox Business Network Neo Cavuto, Pai did explain that broadcast television follows specific sets of rules depending on the time of day. The FCC flags indecent speech aired before 10 p.m., Colbert Show airs at 11:35 p.m., so there's a lower standard of decency. And keep in mind, they say before, even you can't even really argue much about 10 p.m. I'm just going to put this, I've seen shows on at 9 p.m. on network television that go maybe a little bit further than what Colbert did in terms of both language, content, and violence. So this is more of a just kind of a chest thumping situation. It goes on to say Colbert himself remained unapologetic, refusing to apologize and just saying he might have chosen his words more carefully. No, fuck that. He chose his words the way that he wants. He owned up to them, right? He's just going to be like, maybe I should have said it a little bit different of a way, but we all know that's a load. According to the FCC regulations on its website, all content aired on broadcast TV must meet a 3-tier Supreme Court test to be considered obscene. It must appeal to an average person's prurient interest, depict or describe sexual conduct in a patently offensive way, taken as a whole, lack serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. So it cannot. So it has to lack literary, scientific, or political value. All right. So it has to meet that. It might lose in the patently offensive way. So we don't know, but at the same time, the CBS has got a bunch of lawyers. They'll be able to fight back. Nothing's going to happen to Colbert right now. He's the ratings darling. It's not, nothing's going to happen with this period. Colbert is going to go on cracking jokes about Donald Trump, and people are going to keep watching. And if the snowflakes on the right get too mad about it, they can fire up the Twitter hashtag once again, and all it's going to do is just make Stephen Colbert more and more and more popular. As I said in my last video on this is the kind of thing that's going to boost this dude to the upper echelon of late night comedy and keep him there for a long time. How many freaking late night comedians are going to be able to go, under investigation from the FCC because I pissed off the president? You know what I mean? Like, all that's going to happen, and this is the sad truth of this, all that's going to happen is this is going to further Trump's claim that he wants to open up libel laws to be able to sue people for freedom of speech and everything else. Now, I understand when it comes to like publishing fake facts and fake news and fake information that yes, that shit should be regulated and should be stopped. But if you have a late night comedian cracking a joke, that's a joke, man. Get over it. Get over it. And it's, you've got people like Alex Jones calling Hillary Clinton a demon, right? Obama the spawn of Satan. Rush Limbaugh saying all the shit Rush Limbaugh has done over the years, right? And all the conservatives, they look the other way. They don't care because it's going against their enemies. But oh dear God, when it happens to one of their own, they fucking circle the wagons and they contact the government, of which they claim to not want to have overregulate their lives, and say things like, please stop the mean man on TV from insulting the Cheeto in chief. Yeah, that's right. That's what they do. That's why they're snowflakes. They're trying to censor the fucking humor of somebody else's opinion. Jesus Christ, get the fuck over it, people. This is sad. If your guys can do it, the other team can do it too. That, my friends, is fucking equality. Something many, many people out there need to remember in many fucking ways. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? I'm sure the comments are going to be, well, the word I want to use is delightful. Anyway, if you guys liked the video, toss it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and slap on that subscribe button. I post new content pretty much every single day. YouTube is my job. I love it. And speaking of that, given the current apocalypse situation, things are getting pretty cray-cray, pretty fast. And any help is greatly appreciated, be it Amazon affiliate sale, Patreon, or PayPal. With Patreon, there's going to be monthly live streams, probably happening more often than not. There's going to be a lot of access to me if you guys want it. And also soon stickers. So that's coming. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day and peace out.